Hey there, welcome to Drinks with Suzi and Michelle. I'm Suzi, and in a moment I'm going to be bringing on Michelle. It is Monday night. It is the 7th of June. We're having drinks. I hope you're joining me and you're having drinks as well. As you're arriving, I'm going to see, hopefully, that you're here, and I'm going to be asking you what you're drinking. So what are you drinking? While you're doing that, I can see a couple of people have just joined us. I'm going to go ahead and bring Michelle on the line. Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Suzi. Hey, everybody. Great to be here.
It's Monday night and we're drinking.
It's Monday night, and I love that we get to catch up with each other with a glass of whatever it might be on a Monday night.
I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited to have women joining us from all over. Our Victorian sisters are in lockdown, and so I hope for you it's a little opportunity to just make some connections with me and Michelle, to be here, to enjoy a glass of whatever you choose, whether you're having a nurturing cup of herbal tea or a nurturing glass of wine, whatever it is. It's wonderful to have you here. And we're kind of going to be just chit-chatting away. We're going to be talking about the Marketing Success Mastermind, to which we opened the doors today. We actually have a surprise guest that we weren't expecting, and I'll explain that a little more in a moment. But we're here really to answer your questions. And so as we kick off, let's start with the most important thing, and that is, what are you drinking? What are you drinking, Michelle?
We want to know. Well, I'm actually drinking I've really been getting into, well, as you know, I've been getting into cocktails because we had a cocktail evening recently with our Masterminders where we got this fabulous cocktail waiter from Sydney and an MC and music, and we had this fantastic virtual evening of cocktails where we all learned to make cocktails. We actually sent everybody a lovely box with all of the cocktail mixers and shakers.
Oh, the shaker thing.
Oh, it was so fun. And it's like I've got the bug and I'm making cocktails, but not tonight. Tonight I'm drinking a beautiful Italian rosé.
Nice.
And it's delicious. And I've got my favorite little corky thing on the top. It's a little birdie.
Oh, that's really cute. A little ceramic bird. Oh, that's very nice. Well, I'm having wine as well because it was just the easiest thing to pull together. And I'm having a Taylor's Sauvignon Blanc from Adelaide Hills.
Very nice.
Very nice drop. And we'd love to know what you're drinking. And if you're here, go ahead and tell us who you are, because we're using StreamYard. As you can see, it's an application that for streaming. But if you don't have it kind of showing your name, then we're just seeing Facebook user. So someone's having a G&T. Yum, 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 yum.
That was my other option.
Go Adelaide. Hey, Karina. Go Adelaide. Yes, go Adelaide. I haven't been in Adelaide to Adelaide for the longest time, and it is on my list. But mind you, traveling anywhere is on my list right now. So not to diminish the beauty of Adelaide, but yes, just go Adelaide. Bernadette is on red wine. Great. It's like, what medication are you on? I'm on red wine. Thanks, Bernadette.
I love Bernadette talking about herself in the third person. Michelle is on the rosé.
Michelle is on the rosé. Hey, Tracy Harris. She's saying, hey, gals. Hey, gorgeous. So nice to have you here. So you're right here. You are using StreamYard. You're right here. Tracy just had a kombucha. Oh, good for you. And Angie's having a glass of water. Lame. No, not at all lame. In fact, my backup cocktail is a seed lip. Now, this is a non-alcoholic spirit. And so it's made from all sorts of botanicals, and you just have it with soda water or some sort of mixer. And that's what I'm moving on to next. And tomorrow morning at 5:00, I actually have a meeting with my mastermind, the mastermind I belong to. And we often do the meetings on a time that's mostly convenient to American time zones. But it's 5 a.m. start for me. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have one glass of wine and then get on to the seed lip, as it's called. Hey, Karen Parrish. Our partner's having green tea, water with a slice of orange. Yes. Seed lips are the best, says Angie. Yeah, they're great. They're really, really tasty. So we're here to chat, to catch up, but also to talk about the Marketing Success Mastermind, which is our incredible program for women business owners, where over the course of the year, you get to be coached and mentored by me and Michelle and be part of an incredible group of women business owners who are doubling, tripling, quadrupling their business. But it's not just about the numbers, Michelle. It's also about the impact they're having and the changes that they're seeing in their lives. Did you want to say something about that?
Yeah, look, I mean, the numbers are great. And I think sometimes we in business can sort of take our eye off the numbers. And one of the things that happens in the mastermind is we do get you looking at your numbers, and we do really get you focused on the right numbers. And as you said, we've seen people double, quadruple, however you say it, quintuple, I don't know how you say it, but like people are growing their businesses on the numbers side. But we just recently did a survey, and you're right. The thing that I think surprises most people when they join is just how much of an impact it makes to them personally and in their all areas of their life. I think to find that really good, amazing, small, close-knit group of women who are all at the same sort of, maybe very different businesses, but all dealing with similar struggles, all kind of on the same wavelength, it's pretty empowering. And I know you just mentioned your mastermind. I find that in mine. There are people I can go to that I know just know, and they know me and they get it and they're on my wavelength, and it's invaluable. You just don't feel so alone anymore.
And the beautiful Tracy Harris, who's here watching, we met through our mastermind. And I do go to Tracy when I want some ideas. I need some of her excellent input. And likewise, she and her husband, Carl, have also come to us and said, hey, what do you think of this? And having those business besties is something that I have done in all my years of business, and this is my 26th year in business, so I've been doing this for a while, and I just couldn't do without it, because it's hard enough growing a business and managing it through all its stages, but trying to do it on your own, even if you have a team, even if you have a business partner, for me, it's just not the most leveraged way to do it. When people are walking a similar path and can show you the shortcuts, or can show you a better way, a way that has less resistance or is an easier path to follow. And I find that especially with marketing, because it's changing all the time, I love tapping into what other business owners are doing, especially, Michelle, when they're from other industries. And so I can take something from another industry and put it into our industry and just leapfrog ahead of the competition, because quite often people are looking at their competitor for what to do next. And I find expanding your thinking to people who are on a different, in a different industry even, but on a similar path, can really be very, very enriching.
Yeah. We hear that all the time from the masterminders at the 2 days, especially, where we do a mix of teaching and, networking and strategic planning and all of those things. And they often say, how do you pick a topic that seems to be good for all of us, even though we're all working on different projects and have different kinds of businesses? But you're right, there are some things that are common. And one of the big ones is, as you said just then, mindset. And that is one of the things I love most about the people in our mastermind, and then in the masterminds that I think we're a part of respectively. They get me thinking in a way that I wouldn't have thought otherwise, and but breaking through some limiting beliefs. When I see somebody doing something and doing it, getting success and getting results, and I've seen the backstory, how they got there and how they planned it, and maybe how they fell down and got back up again, and then how they succeeded, I feel like I could do it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm the same way too. And having someone paving the way, especially with mindset, for me, that's been the biggest thing as well. And Tracy said here, likewise, being in a mastermind has catapulted my growth. And Bernadette's saying there are so many reasons to be in a mastermind. And one that I really value is surrounding myself with high achievers. Right. And sometimes we can, let me give you an example and being really, really honest. So I belong to a mastermind with incredible business owners. The thing that we have in common is that we all own membership type of businesses. That's kind of the type of membership, type of mastermind it is. And with my 26 years of experience, I've grown multiple multi-million-dollar businesses in different countries, very early on in technology and the internet platform. But every single day I'm working with and learning from business owners who are just very quick, new out the gate, but they're doing some really pioneering, innovative things. And so there's no reason for me to, or you to think that, well, I've been doing this for a while, I should have it all figured out. I don't have it all figured out. And that's why I'm in a mastermind where I can tap into people who are higher achievers, who are thinking bigger, but also to bring the value that I can bring, because I've achieved things. And so that's the thing about a mastermind. While Michelle and I are the mentors in the Marketing Success Mastermind, every single member is contributing from their experience and from the different things that they are trying out. So while we might contribute, and we do in a big way, helping every single member with whatever challenges and problems or next level they want to go to, but also having the women, seeing the woman next to you making this progress is just as motivating and inspiring. And Karen saying, +1 to the wisdom gained from people in different types of business and industry. Yeah, that is, I think, a secret that a lot of people don't realize, because we belong to industry associations, for instance.
Yes.
And we, so we're seeing people just like us doing things just like we do. But it's when you can expand and be around other people, but who are also, in our case, they're entrepreneurs, they're women in our mastermind. The mastermind you and I belong with has both men and women, but the HerBusiness Mastermind is specifically for women business owners. And so you're connecting with like-minded women. And we absolutely love it. Michelle and I, as you heard, we both love masterminds. We're both part of masterminds, but we also absolutely adore our mastermind, which is just come on about 5.5 years we've been running it, and we've still got women who joined us 5.5 years ago who are still part of the mastermind, including the beautiful Karen Parrish, who is here watching, who we absolutely adore.
Isn't that a business that's gone from strength to strength? I mean, we've seen Karen as a leader emerge as the CEO of her business and really putting in some amazing practices, launching a whole new kind of really metamorphosizing, how would you say that? Metamorphosizing her business and, streamlining it, growing it. I mean, she's got clients galore. Her pipeline is full.
Best year ever. Best year
ever, and she's such a resource in the group because guess what Karen does? Karen's a web genius. So we've had so many people in the mastermind tearing their hair out late at night going, I can't get my landing page or my funnel to work. And Karen pipes in, she gives them help. And it's like that with so many different things. There are so many fantastic skills in the mastermind. And that's something I wanted to say about a mastermind. It's not a course. There is no, module 1 happens in January, module 2 happens in February. It is truly a meeting of the minds. And so, like you said, Suzi, we've been doing it 5.5 years. I think I love it even more now than when we started. It is just
I do too. Yeah, I do too, because we're seeing, here's the thing, it's about doing the work. And so a mastermind isn't a course. So I've signed up to courses and I put it in my shopping cart and I get it, and maybe I do it, maybe I don't, maybe I have to it. But in a mastermind, there's no hiding, right? You're in a mastermind. In our instance, you're meeting 4 times a year, 2 days at a time. You're having your monthly Q&A calls. You're doing one-on-one strategy sessions with me and Michelle, and we know what your strategic objectives are. We know the goals you're going for. So there's absolutely no hiding, and that is the best thing because you have the accountability to keep making progress. And I think, Michelle, that's why I love it more today than even when we started, because I'm seeing women do the work. Because you still need to do the work, right? They're doing the work and they're seeing the results. They're seeing their best year ever, even after lockdown. They're seeing going from 0 to a thriving membership that's created a stable recurring revenue for them. We're seeing women go from spending their hours one-on-one across a table consulting, exchanging their time for money, to now having a leveraged income stream that allows them to be able to move to a different part of the country and work remotely, but still have their income on the increase. And women transitioning from being in brick and mortar stores to having an online business. These things take doing the work, but you don't have to figure it out alone. The power of the mastermind is that you have the training, you have the support, you have the go-to people that you can ask questions of, and you have like-minded people who are also there to support you. In fact, we had a story the other day. Michelle and I were talking on Friday, and one of our masterminders was stuck. She was putting together a webinar, and she found herself at the end of the day feeling just overwhelmed and a little unsure. Yes, distraught, actually, quite distraught. And another masterminder got on a call with her for 4 hours to help her work out her webinar frame by frame by frame. And who does that? Right?
Masterminders.
Masterminders do that. Yes.
That's how I feel about the mastermind that I'm in the US. That's how I feel about our masterminders. These are the people you walk over broken glass for. And in fact, the person that spent 4 hours on that call has just joined us. I see Chantel Gilbert.
Hello, Chantel.
And it was such a great story because Chantel has just recently been through this same experience. This was the other masterminder's very first webinar. And it is daunting when you do your first webinar.
Yes.
Chantel's been through that about 6 months ago. Oh, correct me, actually, Chantel, it might be a little longer now. But just recently, she's been really refining that webinar, and she's been asking question after question in the Facebook group. I recorded this big long video when I reviewed her webinar slides. And so she was able to take that information and what she learned in her own experience doing these webinars, that made her richer and stronger. But guess what else it did? It then helped Gillian when she needed the support on her webinar, and Chantel was able to pay it forward. That's why I love this so much. I got goosey because I just love this group so much. I think masterminds are the way forward. I really do. I love courses. I love all those short things where you just need a skill set in a certain area. This is a completely different entity altogether, and I personally wouldn't be without one. Hey, Tina Tower.
Hey, Tina Tower. So lovely to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. And look at that photo of you with your beautiful new book. Awesome.
Bravo.
So excited for you. Tina's got a mastermind too. In fact, I'm going up north to speak at her mastermind next week. Now, Chantel, because Mary asked, is the mastermind suited to people with memberships? Here's Chantel's business. Chantel and her husband, Josh, have an electrical business. So they do solar, they do air conditioning, they do heating, and they have vans out on the road. And so they're not your typical trades, though. More than a year ago, Chantel decided she was going to do a live event. She was going to book a place in her area. She's in regional Victoria, and she was going to run a live event talking about solar installation. And she did that 1, 2, maybe 3 times and got a great result from people who would come with their partner. And these were people of all ages, families living in her area. And so she was able to get them to come to a consultation and then sell her solar installation. But then COVID hit. And so that new door to new customers shut down very, very quickly. And so Chantel decided to pivot and create a webinar. And so she tapped into the mastermind expertise and figured out, how do I do a webinar for solar? How do I get people to even know that I exist? How do I get them to sign up? What needs to be on the landing page? Where does the button go? What color should it be? What should it say? And then once they're signed up, how do I nurture them and make sure they show up? And then when they show up, what do I say? And how do I get them across the line? And I think from her very first webinar, Chantel did about $150,000 in business off of the back of that. Now she's refining that webinar. Now she's making it evergreen, which means that it doesn't have to be a particular date and time, but that you could go to Chantel's website and you could choose your own date and time and go through her webinar, and still on the other side, she's offering you a consultation and she's selling her solar. Very, very innovative. And so no, not just for memberships. We have people in electrical. We have piano teachers. We have people in the wellness area. We have, and you'll meet our special guest a little later on, someone in outdoor fitness adventures. We have, I'm trying to think of all the businesses. We have high-level consultants. We have renovators.
High dollar services, and they might only need to do 10 to 15 large contracts a year. And then we've got other people selling very low dollar things, and we've got people in definitely people with memberships, but we've got people that don't have memberships. We've got people that sell consulting services. We've got people that sell online courses. We've got the wonderful Tasha Jennings, who is in the fertility space. She actually has a supplement. So she has an e-commerce product, and she also has an online course, which she's actually learned to develop in the mastermind. When she came, she was selling her time 1-to-1. So she still does consulting, but we convinced her to put her prices up because she was giving her services away, working herself to the bone and not making enough money in the business. Now she's gone from being in the red to being in the black. She's charging high dollar for her one-on-one. She's got an online course that's kicking it. She's become this fantastic Instagram influencer. And, the sky's the limit. She's got her Zycia supplement in all kinds of distribution. She's got strategic alliances. We've done a lot of work in the mastermind with helping people find other people with your customer that you can leverage through relationships. And there's a way to do a strategic alliance that works. And there's a way to do a strategic alliance that's like that. And so she's really found some really fabulous strategic alliances and leaned on the mastermind to figure out how to really transform those into partnerships that put her in front of her ideal client, that get her distribution for her supplement, and so much more. So there's all kinds of businesses, and that's kind of what we were saying at the start. It's amazing there is still this through line of connection and relevancy for so many people. Like Gillian's in piano teaching, and yet Chantel, who's in electrical, was the one that, was able to support her for 4 hours the night before her webinar. And of course, the changes that Chantel helped her make, Gillian went on and made sales on that webinar and was absolutely thrilled and so excited.
And when we think about someone like you just mentioned, like Tasha, she's in an industry where there's lots of other people doing what she's doing, and maybe you're in that sort of business as well. So she's a naturopath who specializes in fertility, but the way she's marketing her business is so different to what her competition is doing, and that's what can happen when you tap into other ways of doing things. Also in our mastermind, we have another naturopath, but her expertise is in hormones. So she specializes in working with women who are perimenopausal. So the way that she's marketing her business, again, is so different to what Tasha's doing, but each of them is finding a way that is way different to what their competition is doing. And that's going to allow them to really move leaps and bounds ahead. Oh my goodness, we've got some gorgeous masterminders joining us here. Chantel says, having such a variety means everyone comes with different experience, which helps bring new perspective on your industry and way of doing things. Yeah, absolutely, Chantel. And the reason that Michelle and I are sitting here doing this is that we've got a couple of others. This is Amanda Farmer. I was just telling a little bit of a story about you, Amanda. So Amanda is a lawyer. She specializes in strata law, based in New South Wales. And she had a goal. She wanted to have 30% of her income come from her not sitting across the table doing legal work. She really wanted to leverage. And she is not your typical lawyer. She's amazing. She's fierce. She's out there, and she is doing incredible things. She created a membership. We're talking about memberships earlier. She has a podcast. How many lawyers do you know who are doing that? She's also running webinars, and she ran the first ever summit for people in strata, the world's first summit. So she tapped into the mastermind and said, you know what, I'm doing a summit. So here's what I'm thinking, and was able to get the feedback to create a very successful summit, which I believe she's running again later this year. But her work has changed. She's still doing her legal work. That's her high-end work. She's got fantastic strategic alliances. Michelle just mentioned strategic alliances that are helping her leverage her membership and make her offer to audiences that she would never normally have access to. She's incredible. Oh, she's sending us some hearts. Hello.
And bubbles, which I love.
And
Amanda.
And bubbles. And gorgeous Peter Gillian is here. Now, Peter specializes in working with women 50 plus in the area of health and wellness, and especially flexibility and fitness. And again, what a busy marketplace, right? So many people are doing PTs, people are doing diet challenges, etc. Peter has really found her niche in helping women who might be on that slippery slope, which is one of her campaigns she's running at the moment, of things are starting to fall apart. You know, you can no longer undo your bra, you can't do your shoelaces without sort of help. And she's really found the pain point that her ideal client has, and she's creating challenges. She's creating, sorry, I'm on the wrong person here. Challenges. She's doing strategic alliances with other members of the mastermind, other members in the HerBusiness network, something that we definitely encourage. And we are right behind the work that Peter's doing, because she's making such an impact to her business. Now, one of the things that we do in the mastermind is every Friday we do a check-in. So I talked earlier about accountability. So every Friday we say, okay, how are you doing with your project? And we work in 90-day cycles. So every 90 days, the masterminders are declaring what their project is, and that project is being verified as like, okay, you need to aim higher or lower or great. That's right on track with what you said your vision was. And so every Friday we check in. And Peter is one of those people who checks in every week. And I'm always gobsmacked. I'm like, how do you do so much in a week? Because she's just incredible. She's incredible. And we love having her in the mastermind. I just wanted to give you a shout out.
We do. Sorry.
Okay.
I was curious actually to know. I see that. Is that Mary?
It must be. That must be Felicity.
Felicity, is it?
Oh, it's Mary. Oh, Mary, you're a milliner, because there's a milliner that we know, but she would probably tell me if it was her, called Felicity, who also does one-off hand pieces. So, Mary, firstly, congratulations. What a fabulous business. And did you have a question?
I'm also
I accidentally
really
sent the message. Okay.
What anybody that's listening, just pop in the chat there what type of business you have, because I'm really curious.
Yes,
I know
right.
Mary was wondering, is Mastermind right for me? I'd love to see what kind of business are you in? Because if you've got a question around, oh gosh, I sell high dollar services, or I sell one-off pieces, or I sell widgets at $1 each. Like, let us know what business you're in. I'd love to see.
Because one of the things with whatever your business is that the strategy might be different. So the recommendations that Michelle and I might have, whether you're wanting to sell more low-cost items or you've been selling low-cost items and now you want to sell something that's a little more expensive, maybe there's a demand but you haven't met that yet, but you're not quite sure how to do that, then that's a different pathway. Or maybe you only have high ticket items. Like one of our masterminders is an architect and an interior designer. And so she doesn't need a lot of clients every year, but they're very, very expensive jobs. But that keeps her sort of out doing that sort of work. She wants to create something that's a little more automated, a little more cash in the door every single day that doesn't take so much of her time. So that's the work that we're working with her on right now. And I just wanted to see what Amanda said here. She said, my business and therefore my life has been completely transformed because of the mastermind. Couldn't do any of it without our mastermind geniuses. Yes. And here's the thing with the mastermind geniuses. It is the whole mastermind. It is everyone in the mastermind that makes up that mastermind that is the genius. And the lovely Karina does wholesale and retail jewelry. She has a business called Plum Petal and her audience is curvy women who are looking for statement jewelry. And Tracy Bode, hello Tracy. Oh, she's yes, she's great. And Aparna is a tax accountant. Michelle and Ange, the lovely Ange, who's the digestive detective. She's a naturopath, but again, she has a very distinct niche in that she helps people with their digestion. And I did see your post about alcohol the other day, and I did read every word of it, and I did take it on board. I was just drinking tonight. So she says, I want to do one to many rather than single clients. So Ange has a clinic, and so people come to Ange and she helps them with a very important part of our function, which is great digestion, and she's looking to do one to many. Great. And that is the sort of thing that we could absolutely help you with inside of the mastermind.
We've had a lot of people, you mentioned Amanda Farmer, and there's been a lot of people in the group who've joined with that same strategic objective. Yeah. And the point, I mean, we can certainly help with that. Absolutely. And the key is having a strategic objective and then being able to stick with it, because so often we get an idea and we go, oh, I want to do that. And then we go, oh, hang on, no, I want to do that. Oh, then we do this course and we go, I want to do that. And all that does is dissipates our energy. And I think something I really feel the mastermind brings value around is helping you get clear on what is your big kahuna for the year, what's your big goal, and then how can you break that down into strategic objectives that you really focus on every 90 days, and that you break down then into things that you can do, because it's really easy to go off track and it's really easy to take on too much, and we can kind of be the guardrails for that. So yes, even regardless of what the strategic objective is, just having one and then having that focus and that support and that 90-day cycle where you're actually really setting that strategic objective and then putting the plan in place and then having that accountability each week, and then another 90 days. Like I was saying to Suzi the other day, I've made a commitment to my mastermind that I'm in the US that I'll have something done by August 18. And there is no way on this wide earth I'm going to miss that deadline, because I've set it out loud to my mastermind group. So I'm actually taking some time off in August to focus on that deliverable.
The 16th and 17th.
Yeah, I'm taking the evening of the 17th. Well, hey, if it works, I'm taking a bit more now. But the whole point is that it becomes this incredibly virtuous cycle, because you get clearer on your objectives, then you declare your objectives, then you get the support for the objectives, and also because you've said it out loud, you kind of feel accountable to the objective. And something you said I wanted to pick up on earlier, Suzi, about doing the work. Yes, the women in the mastermind do the work, but it's hard work. Sometimes it does feel like a slog, but you're not doing everything and running yourself ragged. You're doing only the things that matter, and you're doing it in a supportive space where it's okay to say, I don't know, where it's okay to fall over and pick yourself back up and go, right, I figured out one way not to do that, and to move on. So I love that.
I love that too. I mentioned earlier, for those of you who are here, that tomorrow morning I have a meeting with my mastermind that I belong to. And one of the things that can happen in our businesses, and let me know if this happens to you, is that we end up working long days into the night, weekends, like whenever we can, we're doing the work. But unless we stop and we have a reason to work on the business, we're left very much working in the business. And that is what can lead to burnout. But when we can raise our head and we know what that vision is for our business, when we know what our strategic objectives are, and when we're actually working on things that are purposeful, that move us towards our strategic objectives and projects that line up with our vision, then everything has a reason for being. Otherwise, we're busy, but we're off here with a bright, shiny object, or we're getting derailed, and 12 months will pass and we're still no closer to creating more and more of our ideal business. And so Michelle and I are very committed to supporting our women in not overcommitting in anything other than staying clear and focused about where it is that you're going and getting the support to do that. And while it's a marketing mastermind, here's the thing. As your marketing starts to work, then you need to look at your technology or your systems or your people or your planning. And so it becomes very holistic as far as keeping you and your business moving forward. But it's because now your marketing's starting to work. Now your clarity around your ideal client is crystal clear. Now what your core offer is again crystal clear, and you're developing how are people being attracted to me? How am I converting them? How am I keeping them? And so you have this whole system for your marketing that is perhaps the thing that might be missing right now for you having reliable income every single month inside of your business.
So there's a couple of comments there. Ange Sinclair says, that's me, Michelle. I need clarity. And,
Right.
That is something that we all need. And it's sometimes difficult to get on our own. I know for myself. And I love what Karen Parrish says here, who's in the group, in the mastermind. I've spoken the phrase strategic objective so many times to my clients. Pure gold learning. That's awesome. And that's the other thing. If you're working with clients in any kind of business capacity, what you get from the mastermind is stuff that you can then, absolutely enrich the lives of the clients that you work with as well.
Hey, Sonia, nice to have you here. A medical intuitive, hypnotherapy, naturopath, but being focused on business intuition and hypnotherapy coaching. Great. Really, really interesting. And so if you're here, you're listening and you have questions, whether questions about the mastermind or something that might be going on in your business, and you think, I could tap into Michelle and Suzi's brain, then now is the time to ask. Go ahead and post something below. Alrighty. There was something else I wanted to say. There's a masterminder who's not here who coined a phrase that we use inside the mastermind, Michelle, that I wanted to share, because this is one of the things I see happen time and time again, where women are, now I'm starting a membership, now I'm doing a lead magnet, now I'm doing a course, now I'm doing this other thing. And they don't have that sort of tunnel vision around their outcome. And it's a term that one of our masterminders, Fiona Keary, coined. Now, Fiona is a stylist and she helps women create a wardrobe full of clothes they absolutely love. And she does that with her online course, her Super Stylers membership, and through her hugely popular Facebook group. And so she, every time we get around to planning for our next 90 days, for the last probably 3 or 4 90-day cycles, Fiona says, I feel like it's Project Broken Record that I'm working on. And here's what she means. She's gotten very, very clear that the way that people come into her world is through a couple very strategically designed lead magnets and through her Facebook group, that her core offer is her style transformation course, and that what they buy after that is her Super Stylers membership. So she's very, very clear now, 4 years into the mastermind, that is the pathway. But that wasn't the way it was when we first met Fiona. Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, she had the right instincts when we first met Fiona. She was doing some things right, she could see the path. She just didn't have some of the pieces in the right place. She wasn't speaking the language of her ideal client. She was trying to be everything to everyone, which is a real trap, because when we're getting started, we think, hey, I can't be fussy. I just got to take any money from anybody that'll pay me anything, whereas actually it works completely in reverse. The more specific you can be about who you're for, the more you can understand that language that they're using, and we talk a lot about that and teach a lot about that in the mastermind, exactly how you can do that, how you can know exactly the words to say and exactly who the person is, because you want to speak to their souls, their underlying emotions, not just their logic. You can't just go out there with bland statements and expect to cut through. So Fiona really learned who she was talking to, how to communicate with them. And she went from struggling to fill her events, because at that time she was doing one-on-one consulting and live events. And she went from struggling to do it to absolutely being sold out. And the very first time she was at our 2-day live event, in the break, she checked her email. And after the break, she said, I just sent the first email out this morning and my event is sold out. She had been applying what we learned. And it was just so thrilling to be there when she had that first really big win. And it's just been big win after big win after big win. And the point you're making, Suzi, about Project Broken Record is, I think, along the lines of we've got to have all the clients and speak to all the people. There's also this idea I've got to have all the things. I have got to have the 20 lead magnets and the 17 courses and the membership and the high dollar program and this and that and that. And you don't. You just have to have a few things that are going to work well. And finding those needles in the haystack is much harder when you haven't been shoveling hay. But you and I have been shoveling hay for about 20 years. We know where the needles are, and we can just point you straight to them. And so Fiona's done the work. She's absolutely been incredible. And I love her focus and her discipline to stick with the plan. And I've shared this before, but I have a mentor who's very wealthy and made a lot of money in business. And he said to me, Michelle, making some money is exciting, but actually making a lot of money is kind of boring. And what he meant was, you want a reliable, repeatable machine. Don't go crazy and doing all these radical things. Get something that works and keep it working and refine it and build it in a really strategic way. And that's absolutely what Fiona has done. And now she's reaping the rewards.
Yeah, and she's got a healthy business that gets healthier and healthier, every few months when she makes her next offer, and just so excited for her and so many of the masterminders who are really not only just transforming their businesses, but as a result, like Amanda said, their lives, because now they have mature businesses that they can rely on, they can leverage. They're building teams. They've got recurring revenue. They've got reliable revenue. And it's very, very exciting. I just wanted to see a couple of comments we have here, and then we're going to bring on our special guest in a minute. The headspace you get from traveling to the mastermind is so good for clarity and big picture thinking, something I never expected. Yeah. And so as part of our mastermind, 4 times a year we meet. And pre-COVID, we would meet in person 4 times a year. But since COVID, we've been doing our meetings remotely. And here's the thing. Some of our masterminders have even said that they get more out of the virtual meetings as the in-person ones. Right now, we're all hanging out to really get face-to-face because it's been quite a while. But nonetheless, because of the way the program is structured, you get regular contact with us, with the other people in the mastermind, and 24/7 access to our brains, all of our brains, to tap in like right when you're working on a project and you really need the help. Fitzroy J. Flasher says, I relate to that, honing in. You can be footed into thinking ad hoc demand is great. It is good, but it's not the pot of gold. Yeah, that's right. The pot of gold comes from that broken record, knowing who your ideal client is, focusing on that one ideal client, deciding what it is that you're going to sell and how you're going to sell it, and getting that honed down. Then you can play with some bells and whistles. But it's really firstly creating those strong foundations. Sharon Barr. Sharon, congratulations on your webinar last week, by the way. She says, hi, Suzi, Michelle, everyone. Being in her business had led me on a journey from a heart project to a recent accidental ideal client. I am hoping to be part of the mastermind group soon. Well, we would love to have you. You do beautiful work, and I know what a diligent learner you've been in the opportunities that you've had to work with me and Michelle. So very, very excited. Hey, Eva, nice to have you here. So I want to give you do you know Eva? I don't know Eva.
No, but I'm so happy she's here. I wanted to say hello.
I do. And look at that photo. Look at that photo. So just to give you a sense of the kind of people who are in our mastermind. So on the weekend, I got a message from one of our masterminders and it said, hey, I noticed that you and Michelle were having drinks on Monday night. Did you need any help? Is there anything I can do to support? I'm happy to come on and say hi. And oh, okay. Well, it was just going to be me and Michelle and we were just going to tell a few stories about our members and masterminders. I said, but sure, why don't you come be a surprise guest? And she just wanted to be here because she just wanted to give to you and talk about some of her experience. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and turn your camera on about now so that you're on when I bring you up. Yes, she's heard me, which is great. And you're going to hear a little bit of her story, which has been a really interesting story, especially over the last 12 months. Please welcome and give a virtual round of applause to the lovely Yvonne Shepherd from Women's Fitness Adventures. Hello.
The crowd goes wild.
Hello, they do. Screaming. How are you?
We're great. Thank you so much for offering yourself up. You're like, I'll come be on and help.
Yeah, it's just, I think when you can give to the thing that you're part of, you get so much more out of it. And like I heard you say before, you can do lots of courses and stuff like that, but you just take from those and you don't get as much as when you put in and get out. So, yeah, that's why I said it, So glad to be here.
Well, it's good to have you here. Now, tell us a little bit about who you are. Tell us what your business is.
So Yvonne Shepherd, I am the CEO of Women's Fitness Adventures. I've been in business, it was 7 years ago in May, so just last month, but I was so sidetracked with the project that I forgot to celebrate the 7 years. But when I first met Suzi at a round table, I think it was, I literally had a very small business, and the accountant that I had at the time laughed at me and said, you will never achieve those goals. And he apologized 2 years later, but I've literally been with you guys, and I don't have that accountant anymore, but literally been with you guys since I started, and PJ is a mentor of mine as well, but that you've helped me through that whole proof of concept to have a thriving business that's had its ups and downs along the way. So my business is a fitness adventure company for women, so Women's Fitness Adventures. We encourage women to become fitter and stronger for life, and we do that through our online and in-person outdoor fitness training and adventures all over Australia, and again, hopefully the world someday.
Hopefully real soon. Now, outdoor adventures. So last year, something happened that we all know about, that is still happening in a lot of places, that kind of derailed a lot of your plans. I know, because, everyone knew that people could no longer travel. And so this beautiful business that was on this trajectory suddenly had this sort of abrupt, well, it wasn't a hold. Well, it was a hold. So major interruption. So tell us, what was happening inside your head? Like, you've been nurturing and growing this business, seeing this incredible growth, and then this happened. So how was it for you, and emotionally, all those things? Just take us there, if you care to go back.
No, I've got so much stronger. I have grit, as you keep reminding me. Last year, I remember going to my doctor just for my general checkup, and I'd heard about the COVID thing, and I said, how much do I need to be worried about this? She said, not at all. It's all good. I went, okay, all right. And it was about a month later that we had to shut everything, absolutely everything down. So for 6 weeks, we could not operate at all, and we had to postpone every single adventure that we had. We have local ones, and it was all in person, and we had overseas and Australian ones, and we do about 16 multi-day adventures a year. So that's 16 times that we go away for more than 3 days a year. So all of that had to just be stopped and put on indefinite hold, and that was really hard. You guys were there. I was hiding under the desk. Some days it was just tragic. I had you saw the best and worst in people and in partners as well. And we kept a record of the naughty and the nice people and who we'll deal with again. And it was gutting whoever, Fitzroy J. Flasher. I'm sure that's not your real name. But it was really hard. And I know, Michelle, through that time, we worked really well together because I had to, my business is a membership-based business, and the key to me surviving was to make some changes, but secondly, communicate with that group. And if it wasn't for you, Michelle, and Suzi in the background there with the letters that I had to keep writing to my customers to say nothing but everything, is that we're still here, and this is what we know. I know them off by heart. This is what we know. This is what happens next, and here's what we need you to do. And I have a whole bank of those now, and I look at, the emails that come out from really big companies. You can do better than that, or companies that just don't even communicate. So that was one part of what happened, but the other part was I knew that I had to pivot. And the strategic objective that we have learned all those years through Mastermind, and I think I'm about 4 years with Mastermind, was that if you knew what your objective was and you really knew who the customer was, you could, like looking back over it now, the last 18 months, the pivot was always obvious. I just couldn't see it. It was something that we wanted to get to.
And you weren't forced to do it, right? You know, this was the push that you wouldn't maybe have given yourself.
I wouldn't. It was always something in the distance. And you said there before, Suzi, that we get stuck in the doing, and I got stuck in the doing because it was, it wasn't hard to keep on that trajectory that we were on. I didn't need to make a change, but I vowed in last year that I wouldn't be put in that position again where someone could take my business away from me. That was through no control of my own. So I did the pivot to online, which is great. And we had a lot of change in the last month. But you guys were right there with me, and that sounding board of when I doubted myself and in that cloud of uncertainty, particularly for last year, that you were the voice of reason and rationale, and I was too close and too emotional to see any of it, and I had last year probably fallen out of love with the business for what happened. But you reminded me, and the other masterminders reminded me too, and then what's happened in the last month, what joy your business can bring to people when you really go back and have a look at it. So that's kind of my journey till the beginning of May, and then we did something very different in May. So,
which we definitely want to hear about, because again, Michelle and I have been behind the scenes, and so have your fellow masterminders who've been cheering you on. I want to, before we talk about that, Michelle, is there anything else you want to say about the pivot?
Look, I'm curious. I'm sure there are people listening that are thinking, oh my gosh, I had to pivot. And whether it's a big pivot like Yvonne had to make, she had hundreds of thousands of dollars of trips that were leaving the week after and in that month. It was a massive pivot. But for some of you, it may be that you're dealing with the ups and downs of lockdown. Your clients maybe are in a different situation than when they were. So the pivot can happen in a big way, or it can be these little small pivots that you've got to keep making. And sometimes those pivots, the little ones, can feel like death by 1,000 cuts, and you can fall out of love with your business, like you said, Yvonne. And it's hard to read the label on, when you're inside the bottle, right? It's hard for this wine here, if it was a sentient being, to read this label, but we can because we're on the outside. And that's what the Masterminders do. They help you to see what you always the reason why you started your business, Yvonne, didn't change. And the new products that you're offering are still very much in the spirit of women's fitness adventures and your passion. You just had to rejig a few things. And sometimes it's just getting tapped back into that source, tapped back into that passion, having somebody else read the label for you and say, it's going to be okay. And we can see 3 different ways you can do this. It just is that impetus to get you out of the rut, out of the hole, out of the despair, and back into motion.
And what we're seeing, from the outside of the bottle, is we're seeing you create a far more stable, far more sustainable business, because you made the pivot that you didn't want to make, that was kind of a good idea but didn't have to happen, and you went through the mud. You went really down low, right? And you've recreated yourself, and you've created something now that I think firstly is very, very scalable. And when travel is back and the borders are open, yes, you'll be able to do all those same things you did, but now you can do so much more and you can reach so many more women. So I do want to talk about what happened just recently and in the last month, because here's what you may or may not know about Yvonne. She's a great communicator. She loves her ideal client. She has an amazing newsletter. She understands community, and she really gives to her community, and they love her. And she is a fitness adventure person. She's laughing because I'm talking about her. So, but she's an in-person, like she does stuff in person. You know, she does stuff with her body. She's fit, she's healthy. She helps other women become fit and healthy. But now she's moving into this online world, which is a little bit different, but the opportunity is so big. And you open the door to what might be available for women's fitness adventures. And you did a couple of things. One, you tried something new. Two, you tried a different way to promote it. Could you take us behind the scenes of what's happened in the last month?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. So I knew that I just want to make one more thing about pivoting. The customer is really comfortable with change now. So, you know, it's pivot is like a friend now. It's not a foreign thing. So in the last month at one of the Mastermind 2 days, we always have experts come in, and you know, my background is marketing, but there's so much going on in marketing that you can't be across it. So it's so wonderful to have all of this stuff come into the Mastermind. And we had a Facebook challenges expert, I think would be. She was
a Facebook advertising
expert. Anyway, so I just said I'm going to do this because I needed to really just start moving my online business. So I really didn't. I didn't plan it out. I didn't overthink it. I just went boots and all. I'm going in. So we have been working together. We've still got a couple of weeks to go. So I decided to do a free online 5-kilometer for 5-day challenge, free, and we promoted it. Now, I haven't done a lot of advertising ever with Facebook. Most of our growth was word of mouth. So we put it out there, and it was due to open on the Friday. And by the Friday, I think I sent you a message, Susie, late at night, and went, oh my God, there's like 2,700 women registered for this challenge. By the time it opened, they were emailing me going,
2,700. We just say that number again, 2,700.
Well, it actually got to 3,330, but only 2,200 ended up in the private Facebook group, which was like holding a tiger by the tail. It was, but it was so much fun, and I learnt what to look for because you guys had shown me what to look for inside that group, and learning very quickly every day because I hadn't planned this or hadn't planned for it to be so big. And my goal was to get, a certain 3% new members. But I did it and it worked. And, the mastermind group was so good because at the end, when I took it away, I got the nasties come out. And I remember it was a Saturday night and I put it in the mastermind group. What have I done wrong? Why am I getting these comments? And it was so refreshing and wonderful to get all that support coming back as well. But we moved through it. We grew the membership by 28%. We grew our email list by 28% as well. We are coming up a month into it now, and we have about 80 now on our wait list to get in for when our membership opens in November. And we recently just launched on Thursday, which oversold. Oh, it was by application, overfilled application. One of our other new pivots, the Couch to Mountain program. So, the last month has seen, I guess, the fruits of last year's labour really now start to come through. So
and you make a good point, right? It was the dark, and now you're sort of coming into the light, but you've been relentless about doing the work, which we talked about, and you've been relentless about leaning in on the mastermind and asking questions and posting the email for Michelle to critique and asking about the Facebook group and all aspects of doing that. And you never hold back, and this makes a good mastermind member. You never hold back from actually using the thing that you're paying for to get the return on it. And so and so when Yvonne's doing a campaign, or Chantel's launching her evergreen webinar, or Amanda's redoing her offer, or whatever each person, Gillian is working on her challenge, your participation gets heightened in the group and all eyes on you. And so and I are there just scouring the group all the time for who needs what. But you're also there for each other. And so when you're in your lulls or you're not as busy, you're in there supporting someone else and, you know, being the shoulder for them. And so it kind of goes around. And so it's just, you know, one, Andrew's saying that is amazing. Great pivot. And she's kicking butt. She's kicking butt. And it's been, as Yvonne said, it's been very much like this. And so, yeah. And Eva's giving lots of rounds of applause. Yay. Yeah. Really, really amazing. Really amazing, Yvonne. Very, very excited. We love you in the mastermind. And Yvonne actually left the mastermind at one point. You were in it probably for 2 years, and then you went away and you couldn't stand it. You had to come back.
Yeah, I had some personal stuff going on and I just needed to step out, but I needed to come back. So I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Just looking forward to when we're in person.
Yes, we're looking forward to being in person too. But thank you for being our surprise guest. Now, if someone's sitting on the fence and they're thinking, I don't know, do I, don't I? You know, you've been there when your business was just starting out. You're there now when the business is a little more buoyant. Anything that you want to say?
I think I said it really early on when I joined Mastermind, when I did that, you know, when I did that first Sparta email and I had to press the button and it was like this was about 4 years ago, a $50,000 email that sold, well, it sold $50,000 in literally 24 hours.
So let me just take everyone back real quick. So Yvonne was about to launch a trek, a hike. It was the most expensive hike she'd ever offered up until that point. And Michelle took her behind the scenes of an email marketing strategy that was something that Yvonne had never done before. And it was a weekend and she was about to press the button to send that email to ask for more money than she ever had before for this particular hike. And we were all in the mastermind group going, yeah, go do it. We're here. We're right here with you. And you said that it felt like we were on your shoulders or you were on our shoulders.
You were all there. I was running between pressing the button and getting another glass of wine, talking to my husband, going, do I press? And then you and PJ sent me a picture and then someone else going, just press the button. And I did, and it all worked out. So it's like having that access to a whole lot of fantastic board members all the time. That's what it is, who don't judge, they just support and give you the best advice to get the best result. So if you are sitting on the fence about Mastermind, you know, it has taken my business from literally nothing to, you know, high 7 figures. So, you know, I just say if you're serious about your business, it's the only place to be, really.
Thank you again for just being willing to show up and, you know, and come tell your story and inspire some of the women who are here who might be thinking, oh, okay, well, it sounds like it might be for someone else, but not for me, or because, you know, I don't know how to get there from here. So I just want to say thank you. Yeah, and Fitzroy. So her real name's Amanda, Yvonne. I'm not good at seeking support or allegiance, total introvert, but very keen. Yeah, you're awesome. And Amanda and her partner, Mickey, have got a fabulous business in Victoria as well. And they're also graduates of a program that you've done, the Reach Retreat as well.
Yes, Reach Retreaters.
Yeah.
And I would say to anybody that is an introvert, I think of all the places you could find yourself, a mastermind is probably one of the better situations to be in, because what happens is, and Yvonne, you might be able to verify this, the level of trust is very high. The safety in this group is, you know, off the charts from what I see. And we can share, we can be vulnerable. We can be busy and quiet and in our project and then pop our head up. There's, you know, no rule about you have to be commenting 5 times a week or anything like that. And so I think for the introvert, it's a safe place and it's not somewhere you have to be loud and involved in all the time either. What would you say to the introverts?
That it's an ebb and flow, that you can flow in when you need the support and you don't have to make a big statement about it. It's literally just putting your work in and asking for support. Or you can, you know, just go in there and sometimes, you know, do a live and go, hey, I'm here and I want to share some stories. But no one's judging you in any way. It's pure support. And I know there's been times where I've been in Mastermind in the lives a few years ago and things weren't going well that I had to deal with in tears, but nobody not related to Mastermind, other stuff going on, and nobody made any judgment.
Thank you for clarifying that.
No, that's right. Yeah, no. But nobody was making any judgment. It was like, how can we support you? Here's what you may have missed, when you weren't in the room and stuff like that. So not everyone is, it doesn't matter whether you want to be front or center or whether you want to, be quiet in your own space. You'll get the outcome that you seek by participating, whatever that level of participation means for you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining
You're
us.
welcome.
Always good to see you. We'll see you in the group.
You will. Okay. Have a good evening.
Lots of love. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Suzi, there's one thing I wanted to. Isn't she fabulous? God, she's just
Absolutely.
a gorgeous human and a wonderful, wonderful business that we've had the privilege of seeing grow. And there's one thing we've kind of been talking about the group, and I just wanted to clarify for anybody that's not sure what that actually means. There is a Facebook group that you join when you join Mastermind. And we often say, when we're talking about what's included in Mastermind, we'll say, and there's a Facebook group. And people just kind of go, oh, okay, that sounds nice. But actually, when you get in, it is like really, it can be, it's the thing I think most people value that they didn't even realize was going to be so valuable when they come in. Yeah. So a Facebook group's open 24/7. You can post anything, anytime, day or night. And I'm talking anything. We've got, like, just today, I've looked at somebody's landing page. I've looked at somebody's offer. We've had people asking tech questions. Not that I'm a tech genius or that we're necessarily the tech people, but we can put you in touch with people.
Yes.
Or somebody in the group has just done that very thing and they know how to do it, or they can put you in touch with somebody. So you can put anything in there. We've, as Yvonne said, we've read her emails. We will look at your sales video or your script or your funnel diagram or, Peter, that great slippery slope idea that she's got. She
love it
in the group and asked for feedback, and really anything, anytime, day or night, you're getting this incredible level of support. And so I just wanted to explain what the Facebook group was all about. We just mentioned it a few times there.
So there's so many things that we include in the Mastermind experience, including meeting 4 times a year, whether it's virtually or in person, the monthly Q&A calls where we're answering all your questions in depth. We call it the Facebook group, but it's almost dumbing it down because it's just this 24/7 access. Just think about it like this: 24/7 access to the Masterminders and to me and Michelle to be able to ask your questions and get answers, and really thoughtful, in-depth answers. One-on-one strategy sessions so that we are mapping out, as Ange referred to earlier, the vision and the strategic objectives and then the projects that you're working on so that you have the clarity and the focus about where you're going and how you're going to get there. We bundle in extra trainings throughout the year, but the main thing is that you have the accountability and the support and the clarity and your own group of people who care enough about where you're going to help you be accountable to the things that you say you want to do. Because as business owners, one of the things that we can do is that we can be slippery, only because we don't have to be accountable to anybody. But the moment, like you, Michelle, you say to your mastermind group, I'm going to do this by August 18th, you're not going to show up without having done the thing. And that sort of accountability is what keeps us making progress. It's the same reason I've been part of some sort of accountability, whether it's a mastermind or a peer-to-peer mastermind, for most of the years that I've been in business. Because one of my mentors, Robert Kiyosaki, who's the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, always said to me, surround yourself with people who ask more of you than you do. Surround yourself with people who ask more of you than you do. And that is what my mastermind is for me. They're always asking more of me. And that is why I continue to grow and expand and innovate and pivot and change things up. And it's something that I encourage inside of our HerBusiness community. And the mastermind is that place for you if you want to make the biggest changes that you can in your business right now by really changing up and leveraging your marketing. So I've just put a little sign down here, Michelle. It says early bird applications close Sunday, the 13th of June. So right now the doors to the mastermind are open. We only open up a couple of times a year, and there's only ever a couple of spaces available because people stay for 3 and 4 and 5 years. And we do have a limit to the number of people in the group. It is for women business owners, so you do have to be the owner of a business. And if you head on over to herbusinessmastermind.com, you'll see all the details. all the details of what's included. You'll see stories from people like Yvonne and Chantel and Fiona, who we spoke about earlier, and Tasha, who we mentioned earlier. You'll get a sense of some of the special guests that we bring along. So Michelle and I tap into our networks and bring incredible guest speakers, people that just blow our socks off. Just last Mastermind, you brought an incredible speaker, Michelle, who you introduced us to.
Yeah, last time we had Marisa Murgatroyd, who's you may already know of her. She's an incredible entrepreneur. I love it that she's a powerful woman in the online marketing kind of space. And her last launch was a multi-million-dollar launch. And I'm fortunate to work with her. And so she came along, and she's done challenges for thousands of people and had those challenges then turn into paying clients, into multi-million dollar sort of sales. And so she came and spoke at our last 2 days. And of course, we've got several people in our mastermind right now doing challenges, one of them being Yvonne. And you know, because these people are our friends, these people are our colleagues, they aren't coming along with any other purpose than to generously give. And they really pull back the curtains on stuff they wouldn't share elsewhere in other environments. And so Marisa very generously shared how she sets up her challenges, what the stats look like, how even like the documents that she created.
Yes, that she shared with us, the templates. Yeah, amazing.
Templates. So yeah, lots and lots of awesome people from your mastermind, Suzi, people from both of our extensive networks. You know, we've both been doing this a long time. We got a few people in our back pocket that we bring along, and we're really watching the group to see, okay, this is the person to bring in this time. And Marisa was absolutely the perfect person for the last 2 days.
And a couple of people have said, yes, accountability and support and fun. And Chantel said, yes, fun. We do have a lot of fun. We do. We have a lot of love for each other, which might sound like a strange thing to say in a business environment, but Michelle and I both really, truly, we love our masterminders. We share so much with you, and you know, we share so much time. We get right behind the scenes of your business. We're there through the lows of Yvonne, through that point where her whole business felt like it was crashing down, to the joy of, you know, seeing members like smash through their goals and beat their goals by 130%, or have their biggest month ever or their best year ever after lockdown. Just incredible, incredible wins. And, you know, business is a team sport. That's another lesson from my mentor, Robert Kiyosaki, is a team sport. And for me, my mastermind is my team. Even though I have a team of employees, it's a different level of conversation. It's a different level of conversation than you have with other business owners. And as a team, we achieve so much more than we could as individuals. And that definitely happens inside of the mastermind. And Michelle and I, you know, one of the first things we do every year is we map out the dates for the mastermind, the HerBusiness Mastermind.
Right.
Before we commit to anything else.
First. That's right. Before even like things like holidays, and we work everything else around it. And it's the same even with the Facebook group. You know, I'm up in the morning. It's one of the first things I do. We're in there all the time. We plan weeks in advance for the 2 days, and we do have a lot of fun together. There is a lot of love for each other. And I think that just makes the bond stronger. It makes the trust stronger. And we do want to show up for each other. I think that's what makes it so special.
Chantel saying it's like a family if you got to handpick your family. That's the best kind of family. And Gillian, we were talking about you earlier. Yeah, so Gillian got a lot out of Marisa's presentation and went right into her challenge and has had a membership open. And I know it's closing tonight, Gillian. And so I know inside the group this morning we were cheering you on, saying, come on, great last 12 hours. Really, really, really exciting. Yeah, we really like to celebrate each other.
Very first webinar, and I just admire you so much for the grit that you've shown and the guts and the courage. Yeah. And, you know, what Yvonne said about putting a finger over the button and pressing go, I think that is one of the things that holds us back the most as business owners. We get ourselves just to the finishing line, but we need that extra help getting over the line, or getting things going, making that leap. And once you've made the leap, you're off and racing and you're in momentum, but you need those people around you who are going to be cheering you, who are going to be that gentle nudge in your back, or that voice that's ahead of you saying, come on, come over, you can do it. We know we've been over here. It's safe and we will help you. And I think we get stuck. We get playing small. We get frightened. We get bored.
We overthink.
We fall out of
Overthink,
love, we get
overanalyze.
overwhelmed.
Yeah, all those things. All those things. And so, yeah, for me, it's that. It's like I can sit there and spin things around my head over and over and over again and not take that next leap, or just take a small leap. And my mastermind is there with that little nudge going, we've got you. You know what? I've done this before. I can show you this, or I've done that before. I can show you that. Or you know what? Whatever happens, we're here for you to support you along the way. And that support is
Yeah.
yeah.
She's pressed go. She's been brave lots of times. But
She pressed go a lot.
butterflies
Yes.
every time she hits the go button. And those butterflies don't go away. You just get into an environment where you feel you can do it, even if you have the butterflies, and you're going to be okay.
Yeah. Great. Oh, I've loved chatting with you. I'm so excited to have these beautiful women here. And if you're watching and you're thinking, you know what, I wouldn't mind hanging out with Michelle and Suzi and these wonderful masterminders like Yvonne and all the women that we've mentioned here today, then we would love for you to join us. We literally have a handful of places available, and we only open up twice a year. And applications are open this week, and it is an application process. So you head on over to HerBusiness Mastermind. You'll see it says apply now, and we ask you a series of questions. And it's just so that we know that it's a good fit for you and that you're a good fit for the program as well, because it's not a dip in, dip out kind of program. You're making a commitment for 12 months. We want to make sure that it's right for you and that it's going to give you the things that you want and need, because we ask you about what your goals are. And we want to make sure that you're a good fit for the group as well, because it is an environment that we protect. It's a protected species, our masterminders. And so, but if you're just sitting there, you're like, oh, I don't know. If you're looking for accountability, if you're looking to really up-level your marketing, if you're looking to be surrounded by incredible business owners who are committed to growing their businesses, even when they don't know what the next step is, even when they don't understand all the jargon, even if up until now they just haven't been willing to be generous enough with themselves to give themselves this sort of gift, I pay ridiculous but worth it amount of money for my mastermind. And I would normally travel to North America 3 times a year to be part of this mastermind. So there's airfares, accommodation, plus this 5-figure fee for the mastermind. But I do it because of the difference it makes to my business. And I know, Michelle, you've been part of your mastermind probably at least 5 years now, probably. And I know that you wouldn't be without it either.
Yeah, maybe it's getting on for 6 years. And yeah, it's a 5-figure investment in US dollars, which, it's no small thing. But I get a return on that investment every year. And that return on investment is substantial. It's not like I'm just kind of getting my money back. The things that I get out of that mastermind, I'm turning into multiples of that investment. And you've seen it with Yvonne and, Chantel and Peter and all of these great, beautiful people who are here. They're not only having a great experience doing good work, all that, they're growing their businesses. Chantel, we'll learn a bit more about her business later on in the week, but, she has taken it from, here to here to here to here in the time that she's been in the mastermind group. And, it's no small investment, but the potential upside is I can say this without any hesitation. It is way, way more. And the more you can invest in yourself and in your business and in creating that support system for you, the more opportunity your business has to grow, has to hit that potential, has to gain the momentum that's going to get those numbers that you want. And if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get what you always got. And so, this feel that Fitzroy J. Flasher, Amanda, feel the fear and do it anyway. Like that's kind of part of joining a mastermind. At first you have to go, look, I think this is great. This sounds really good. And there's a moment where you just got to, like Yvonne, you've just got to press the button and apply and have it back to us.
Yeah. Thank you. Chantel just said, great hanging out with you guys. Hanging out with you guys, what did she say? Is the best. Hanging out with you guys is the best. Is the best. I love it.
And Gillian says, there's no way I'd be this far along in my business growth without HerBusiness Mastermind.
HerBusiness Mastermind. Yes. Thank you. So one thing to do, HerBusinessMastermind.com. Yeah, HerBusinessMastermind.com. There you go. Go ahead and apply. what happens when you fill out the application form, we set up a meeting. It's actually a chat with me and Michelle. We take about 15 minutes to just go through your application and give you the opportunity to ask any questions that you have. So we're not taking a whole lot of your time, but enough for you to know that you're in the right place and that you're making the right decision. And then at that point, if the program is not right for you, and there's a couple of people here who've applied before, we'll tell you it's not right for you, not right now. But if it is right for you, we're going to encourage you to go ahead and take that leap and to be generous with yourself and to give your business the support that's going to help you reach your potential so much faster and not doing it on your own. Yeah, we're on it, says Amanda. Awesome. Hey, Michelle, anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, she says one of the best business investments I've made. Mwah, mwah.
Hey, we were talking about you before. Thank you. Well, I was telling people about your Project Broken Record and what a good mantra that's been for growing a sustainable business. You're awesome. Thank you. One of the best investments I've ever made. Yes, great.
Yes.
Love that. I'm going to screenshot that. There we go.
That's a goodie. I
Right.
love having the safety net of the mastermind. It's often lonely, and that is such a true point, Karen.
Yeah.
It's often lonely being in business, and
Yeah.
having those business besties, those people you trust that you can share with, even when things aren't going to plan, or you've got a crazy idea you don't want to share with anybody else, but you know your masterminders will get it. This is the place, and we are here. We are open, but only for a few days. If this is calling to you, if you're curious, if you're feeling something deep in your bones and you're thinking, this really sounds like the next step for me, don't shush that voice away. Listen to it. Take some action on it. This could be the very most significant turning point in your business. Just by taking this one step, you may be opening up a wealth of opportunity, the next steps, the next pivot, the next opportunities, the next big idea that's going to make all the difference in the next year, the next 5 years, 10 years, and lifetime of your business.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. If this sounds like it's the right thing for you, please go ahead and apply. As Michelle said, we're only open for a few days. We are only taking a few people, but go ahead and do that. If you have any questions, just pop them here in the comments below. And if we don't answer them tonight, just know that the team and I will be on it in the morning to make sure that you get the answers that you need. Thank you so much for tuning in and with having a drink with us, whether it was kombucha or green tea or whatever you were having. Thank you for being here. Thank you to Yvonne for jumping on as our special surprise guest, and to all the masterminders who've just tuned in, have been saying beautiful things about the mastermind and supporting us. That kind of level of support is what the mastermind is all about. And you can see it's reciprocated. You know, we do whatever we can to support our masterminders, and here they are showing up, Michelle, like the gorgeous women that they are.
So grateful. And as I say to the masterminders, love yous all.
Thank you, Ange. Thank you, Ange. Oh, Peter, love you too. Yeah, thank you, Ange. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your night. Bye for now.